What is going on? So first YouTube, so it'll be one might not be the best video ever, but hopefully it will provide some value for you anyways. So basically just going to do a Q&A. So put a question box up on my Instagram last week. So just have them questions here on phone. So gonna get them answered for you, and like I said, hopefully it will provide some value for you. So it was around fitness, performance and physique goals. So first question anyways we will go through is have a few kg to lose but don't want to under fuel trying to break into the team. So yeah, look, obviously it is going to be important to be fresh for all our sessions. So it's a balance, it's going to be a balancing act, you know, and it's kind of looking at the bigger picture in the sense of, you know, when do you actually want to peak for? Because obviously the best thing we can do for performance is to ensure that we have an athletic build and our body fat percentage is in a good place. You know, it's an absolute game changer really. Like if we are sitting with a low body fat percentage, you say we knock off 5 kg, we're obviously going to be in a much better position to, you know, sprint faster, you may find it easier to get fit, find it easier to get around the field, and just not fatiguing quite as quickly. So yeah, definitely a balancing act in that sense. So often how I do it with clients is we'll have a training day, so that's the days we're lifting weights, rest day, and then we'll have a carb load day. So we'll pick a carb load. We'll say if we have a league game, we'll say for example on a Saturday, that we'll be playing on a Friday, then we will do a carb load day where we will drop our protein to a minimum, drop our fats to a minimum, just to keep calories as low as possible essentially, and then we will bring the carbs kind of up good and high. Suppose this way, by dropping the protein, by dropping the fat, we are then able to maximize the amount of carbs that we plug in the day before, which is going to help us with performing the best way we can, you know, without I suppose skyrocketing calories. And then obviously on our training day we will have a certain carb amount, and on the rest day when we're not doing either, we will have brought our carbs down. So just so we can balance everything, we can improve our body composition while, you know, still being able to perform with our carb load plan where we have that energy then when it comes to game day. So yeah, it's one of them things. It's trying to pick, you know, the best thing for you. You know, in the long run, do you want to perform well now during the league, during training, or, you know, do we want to have low body fat and then have our carbs pushed up even in a slight surplus so that we can continue, or so that we can I suppose, you know, get our performance in the best possible position then for championship, while being able to push food up, like, and, you know, have the best of both worlds. But obviously being lean is something that's extremely underrated when it comes to performance based goals in general, you know, before it comes to any plyometrics or S&C work. You know, if we can get body fat down to a good level first, then that's going to be the best thing for us. But obviously we want to be doing our S&C work, doing our plyometric work, and, you know, getting body fat low obviously at the same time, and then we can get into a slight surplus, like I said, increase our calories, increase our carbs, keep body fat low, and then, like I said, get the best of both worlds. So hopefully that answers that first question for you. So second question then about struggling with fitness during the season and how to gain an edge on that. So yeah, again these are all things that we need to balance, because we want to be in the best position as well, you know, for our team sessions. So that especially, you know, if we're on the edge of, you know, trying to get into that starting team, you know, it obviously can be tricky, because we do want to be fresh for them sessions and all that kind of stuff, you know, to impress. So yeah, probably mainly Zone 2 running can be a good one. Even better than that probably is off feet cardio, and even doing intervals, you know, whether it's on a bike on a rower, or probably a solid bike might be even the best one. So it's probably zone 2 running, yeah, and on off feet cardio. I would even be going for intervals and off feet. As opposed to doing zone 2, we're still going to have a certain amount of, I suppose, strain on the body, or a bit of pressure on the, muscles tightening up, and putting pressure on joints and that kind of stuff. When we are doing zone 2, shouldn't be too bad. At zone 2, we shouldn't be the worst, but at the same time, off-feet cardio should take the pressure off the joints completely, so that we're as fresh as possible. But obviously, doing that, we can still continue to improve and continue to improve our aerobic capacity, while keeping the body fresh then, and being in a good position then when we get on the pitch for our team sessions. So that's probably the best way for that. And then the next one, how can I get everything in? Find it impossible to do everything. Plyo, S&C and speed. Definitely something I have struggled with myself in the past, and what tends to happen, and it's the worst thing we can do, as there's been studies to prove it, like the worst thing we can do, whether it's any athlete really, is just to go from doing all your S&C in the off season and then slowly falling off, and eventually when it comes, we're a month out from championship or 6 weeks out from championship, and there's literally zero S&C work going in. It's an absolute disaster. We want to avoid that, because like I said, there's been studies to show that there's been a direct correlation between those who stop with their S&C work and performance going downhill. So we don't want that. So yeah, definitely we want to keep all that stuff going with our S&C, with our plyos. Plyo shouldn't be an issue really. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be overly strenuous on the body. But yeah, how I would, I suppose, work around getting all these things done, and what I do now myself is, I suppose it's that theory of kind of keeping your high days high and your low days low. So basically, with your, getting your pitch sessions, for example, my own at the minute are Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So either a game at the weekend, or we have training, one or the other. But yeah, what I mean by that is, when we keep our high days high, what I mean is that we train, we'll say Tuesday evening. So I will go on a Tuesday morning and get one of my gym sessions done. So that I'm doing a gym session and I'm doing my pitch session then on Tuesday evening. That means Wednesday then I can go in and keep like I said, keep the low days low, whatever that is. That could be, for me, that's usually either off-feet cardio, or even an upper session. An upper session isn't going to create crazy strain on the body. Whereas on that, on this, I'd be inclined to do my lower sessions on the days where we have training. So I could do a lower session and then do a hurling session the next day. Whereas if I was to do a pitch session Tuesday, lower session on Wednesday, and go train again Thursday, Friday would be pretty tough. So it's about finding that balance. So yeah, I would just try and keep the high days high and low days low. So low days then, you can go with upper body, just kind of targeting hitting a high step count, and yeah, again, go for off-feet cardio. So that'll be what I'll be doing. Doubling up your sessions, so that when it comes to your rest day, when you don't have a pitch session, that you're not putting yourself through the ringer again. And we're just giving ourselves that chance to recover, essentially, so that, again, that we are fresh for our pitch session again the day after. So again, hopefully that also speed is mentioned in this as well. So it says plyo, S&C and speed. My speed sessions are always done before my pitch session, so it doesn't need to be crazy volume. We just need to slowly build up to max speeds, and then get, I suppose, 5 or 6 max speed runs done, then 20-25 meters, and plenty break in between as well, because we want to be fully recovered again. And that, to be honest, that should set you up pretty good for your pitch session anyway. So yeah, no, speed sessions are never an issue for me, because I'll never do them again it's about keeping the high days high. I know I'm repeating myself now, but it's the same thing. We don't want to go and train Tuesday and go and do, go and work on a speed session then when we're all tightened up on a Wednesday, and then for training again on Thursday. So Again, I know I'm saying balance a lot, but that's a lot of it. A lot of it is coming down to that, and yeah, that's the best way I think to kind of keep as fresh as possible for you can on your pitch days. So balancing physique goals with your performance goals. This kind of, I suppose, just kind of crosses over to the first question, I suppose. Yeah, it does. It's much the same. It's much the same in that we are going to have that balance with our carb load days and our training days and rest days and whatever way we want to work those calories and I suppose carbs, and like I said again, dropping your protein, dropping your fat, and then having your carbs as high as possible. So the day before, we'll say once a week out for trying to work on physique goals where we are trying to drop body fat. Yeah, then that's the way I go about it. Obviously, with a physique goal could be adding muscle as well. So yeah, I suppose there'd probably be no need really for even if we're pushing food pretty hard throughout the week, there's probably no need to even go and carb load. Then I think it's a lot easier to balance, I suppose, a slight surplus, a lean gain with performance than it would be when food is low and energy is low. So yeah, look, if you are someone who's working on dropping body fat at the minute, let's get that done as soon as possible, I would say. Now when we're in the likes of league bases, whatever sport you're playing, I would say, whether it's whatever it is, but for GA at least, I suppose at the minute, football, hurling and that, we are looking at you're in the league at the minute, so get that dieting phase where you're looking at dropping body fat done as quickly as you can, I would say, and then slowly start increasing the food so that we can focus on performance, and hopefully you have got that position at that stage where body fat is low. Yeah, and then you've the best of both worlds after that. Then you're in a slight surplus to fuel performance. Like I said, with body fat loading is probably the most important thing we can do if we're looking to streamline performance. So yeah, I think like I said, those two questions kind of overlap anyways. And then yeah, look, I'll just go through one more question first video, so we'll keep it somewhat short. So no idea of what to eat carb load day or what I am eating or the right amounts. So yeah, so I have a guide just done up on this, so I will just give me a shout if you want me to send it over to you. It's no hassle at all. So what you're looking at, I suppose, for the right amounts, again, would I be implementing this? I suppose I probably wouldn't start implementing this till near championship. I would advise probably testing your carb load plan out. You don't want to do it on the first time and then wake up in the morning championship where we're sluggish and still feeling very bloated and full. So test it out. Last league game or challenge game before championship or whatever it is, that's probably when I would I'd give it a crack. But I wouldn't really be, you can carb load somewhat, but I wouldn't be going with 600-700 grams of carbs. It's just going to if we're doing that every week for a league game, it could lead to a little bit of body fat when we probably don't need to be doing it for the league games. Obviously for championship games it's essential. But yeah, obviously I personally would still carb load some bit for a league game, but maybe not to the extent that I'm about to tell you, I suppose, how we structure that. But again, it's all in the carb load guide that I can send you over if you just drop me a message on Instagram. But yeah, so what you're looking at is, we're always going to carb load the day before. So if we have a game on a Saturday, we're going to carb load on a Friday. Game on a Sunday, we're going to carb load on a Saturday. So what we're looking at, you're looking at about 8 grams of carbs per kg of body fat, per kg of body weight, I should say. So just to give you an idea, if you are 80 kg, you will be looking at 640 grams of carbs. So again, 640 grams of carbs going in on a Saturday if we have a game Sunday, and going in on a Friday if we have a game Saturday, for example. So I'd be not avoiding completely, but don't go for all high fibre foods. just a little bit harder to break down then, and it can lead us to being sluggish and that, and that's why we're kind of trying try to trial that out for our first time we're doing it properly for a championship game or whatever it is. So yeah, that's kind of the carbs you'll be going for, and just be prepared. Maybe plan it out the day before, because obviously it's a lot of food, and the more we can get in early in the day as well, the better. The less likely we are to be sluggish the next day. But also, we don't want to get to 6 or 7 o'clock and go, oh shit, I still have 200 or 250 grams of carb seed, because that's going to affect your sleep, and we obviously don't want bad sleep. Sometimes we can have a bit of nerves, a bit of jitters and that, the day before big game anyways, so we don't want to add to that. If we have a high amount of carbs and our body is still going through the digestive, still working through digesting all the food, you're not going to be able to switch off when your body is digesting a lot of food, and that's going to affect your sleep, which in turn could affect performance the next day. So we want to make sure that we are getting as much of that food in early in the day as possible. Like go for breakfast, couple of bagels, large orange and a banana. You're looking at 160 grams of carbs there or something. Get up good and early and kind of get a good start made at it, and try and have it all finished then by 6:30, 7. That'd be what I'd advise. That's kind of what you'd be looking at then. So obviously that'd be 640s for someone who's 80 kg, but obviously you're just multiplying your body weight by 8, and that's going to give you your carb load. Again, day of a game, like I say, if a game's on at 2, we might look at, for example, someone who's 80 kg might be looking at 300 grams of carbs. Again, get up, get that first bit of carbs in as soon as possible. I suppose day of the game, we're just topping up and maintaining our glycogen stores. So basically, when we eat carbs, break it down. Basically you break down food, and then it will get stored partially in your liver, also in your muscles, and we basically then will just them stores then will help us with energy then the day after. So we're essentially the next day just making sure that we are getting those carbs back in the next day, and making sure that we're just maintaining the next day, and keeping those carbs topped up basically for a game day. So obviously if we're going for 300 grams of carbs, we have our matches at 3, for example. Probably at 8 o'clock be looking at eating half of them, so going for 150 grams of carbs for breakfast, and then we'll go for half, maybe again, like half of that maybe, and then half again. So we're splitting up into 3 meals. So I'd probably go like 8 o'clock, maybe, say the game's at 2, we'll go 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock then again. 1 o'clock, obviously the closer we get to the game, the quicker releasing they should be. Rice Krispie Squares, Lucozade, jellies, whatever it is, stuff like that. Stuff that's going to be quick to break down and quick to get into the system, so that we can release that energy then once we get into the game. But yeah, I think for a long time as well, just to mention, I've been in championship games a few years back where you're thinking, fucking hell, maybe just not fit enough, getting tired, getting fatigued, struggling in second half, and then last year was probably like the first year properly carb loaded, and I wasn't getting that as much. I was able to keep going towards the end of the game. Do I think my fitness levels are much different? Probably not. So I probably would have put it down to, I think a lot of the time we put it down to, I'm not fit enough, but a lot of the time we're actually just not prepared enough. We're actually, eating a big bowl of pasta before you go to bed is not carb loading. That could be 100 grams of carbs, 150 grams of carbs, and we could have only ate 200 for the rest of the day. So it's simply not going to be enough. We need to load up properly, and it will I suppose help us with avoiding fatigue, avoiding I suppose just gassing out. Because if we run out of glycogen in the muscles, at half time, whatever, we're simply not going to get enough food in at half time, whatever it is, no matter what it is. It's still a useful window, half time, and using that, but I wouldn't be relying on it either. So we need to make sure that we are properly carb loaded and ready to go the day before. So if you have watched, cheers for watching.